Welcome to A Restar's Life. Today's conversation is going to be about process improvements on eBay. I'm going to start today. One of the things that I'm looking to improve is actually just being patient with reinvesting. I think that it's too common that people are looking for, they basically put off growing their eBay store by looking for that super profitable find. So you see a lot of people who are treasure hunting every single day to try to find something that's super valuable when you don't really need to do that to build an eBay business. You can just be patient. If you list 15 items a day, 3 to 6 months later, you're going to be making a full-time income. That's not even that long. This is one of the fastest ways to build an income. It's not a fast way to get rich, but it's a fast way to earn a full-time income. So if you wake up, list 15 items a day, and then spend the rest of the day looking for the items for tomorrow, just keep repeating that. As long as you stay frugal and you keep reinvesting that money, it grows super fast. So my improvement for myself is to focus on things that grow over time instead of chasing, because as I'm noticing right now, it's super, super trendy. If I were to say, "Hey, everyone, put $100 into this pot, and then you have a chance of winning 100," you have a 1% chance of doubling your money and a 99% chance that you won't make anything. There would be like thousands of people who put $100 in, hoping to double their money, when only one person doubles their money. Versus if you just put that $100 in the new inventory for your eBay store, the chances of making $20 or $30 guaranteed are super duper high. As long as you buy comps that can double your money, earning 20 or 30% interest on your money is insane. So I want everyone to stay patient. Thank you for everybody watching online. Today we're talking about process improvements. So please put in the chat something that you are improving in your eBay business, and good afternoon to those in the UK. Let's start with Shani. Shani, good morning. What can you do to improve your eBay business?
I want to get better at this Terra Peak and deciding if something's worth investing in. Like I'm kind of obsessed with that. I love to look stuff up, and then there's people on Amazon that look things up with how does that work with their ranking.
Yep.
That's what I'd like to get better at that, and I actually enjoy that part because I've told you all the things I don't enjoy, but I kind of enjoy that the research part of it. But
That's great.
but where the improvement needs to come in is the guidelines, like making decisions based on what data I find. Something may have sold a few times, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to keep selling. And that's what I need to improve upon.
So let me ask you, how are you keeping track of all these different ideas that you find?
In a spreadsheet.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then what kind of criteria are you keeping track of?
Well, I want to know, like, I'm trying to figure out how often something's selling. I want to know the price point, that it's going to cost me to get into the deal, and then how much I can stand to make. Where I'm having problems deciding is like we've talked about making $1 or $2 profit on an item. And when I hear that, most of my, I'm doing like some of my items, I'm doing 30 ASP. And so it's hard for me. But if I had 5,000 of something, so that's really, that's the part where I can't figure it out. I'm tracking it, but I don't quite know when to say no to something.
Okay, so this is great because I want everyone to start coming up with different criteria for when they buy something. So as an example, if one of the things on your list is, let's say Logitech cameras. For now, for the next 7 months or so, Logitech cameras are going to sell above retail because there's a shortage. They can't make them fast enough. If you log into logitech.com, they're like, "We apologize. We know everyone is at home, schools are at home, but we can't make webcams fast enough. So be patient." So you could put on your list every single model of Logitech webcam, and then just look for them online, look for them in lots. I have found two now in local government auctions from people's storage units. It's pretty common for someone to have a webcam that they're not using. So that's one of those things that you would put up there, like how often is it selling? you could start to use Amazon. One tip from Jeffrey Anderson is look on Amazon and copy the description from Amazon into your eBay listing. I'm going to start doing that because somebody has spent $500 writing the perfect description. Just copy that into your listing. Super, super important because you just take advantage of someone's hard work. I paid $1,100 for a lady to write a flyer for me, and it's converted 3 times now. Just me going to a business and saying, hey, do you have any things that you're not selling? Every business right now is trying to earn extra money, and that copywriting is just key. So anyway, let's copy that from Amazon. I like that list, and I think that's going to be the basis of our, if we create a Bolo group in this group and we make a group where a little spreadsheet that, let's say 50 of us share with each other, that would be the basis of it. Like, how much capital do you want to invest? Yesterday we talked about spider gloves. They're still available for sale for $5 and they sell for around 30. So should we be going all in on that kind of stuff? It's going to be cold soon. It's not cold yet. Those aren't selling like crazy because it's still warm. But
So using those gloves as an example, like how do you gauge the temperature as to whether you go in or you don't? Let's say, for instance, I find something and I don't see it selling on Amazon, but I see it selling on eBay. What is that telling me? So I'm just curious about the criteria, like how do you, or Snap seller tools? Is that something else that you should think about? Like, what are the things that say this is a red light, this is a green light kind of thing?
Okay. I would say if there's no verifiable solds and you don't have a lot of capital, you should stay away. If you start like, okay, this is how I look at it. It's almost like the stock portfolio. If you have extra cash, invest in those home runs and then just wait. There's no hurry, right? I just turned down a $1,500 offer on that Omega watch because I got the watch for free. I'm just gonna wait to get it I'm gonna wait to get 2,000 for it. But on a not rare, like a webcam, if it's selling for 120, sell it for 110. Just let it go. So I think that's one of the criteria should be how replaceable is it? That's probably the top one. I like the treasure hunting model, but only for fun. But one more thing that I want to discuss today about improving processes is I was just listening to a YouTuber this morning that makes $1 million a month on YouTube. And I looked at how he processed his day. The actual YouTube part is 30 minutes. He spends like 16 to 18 hours researching a topic and making sure the information is really relevant and then posting it, whether it's on the government stimulus or on the election. Condensing all that information takes the whole day. You make a video that's 10 minutes long and it's on point and informs everyone. Done. That's how you make $30,000 a day. Incredible, right? Imagine if you did that with reselling. If people in the chat right now, you spent 16 hours researching one topic, you're going to know exactly what to buy. Who even does that? The buying part is easy. It's the research part that people need to really dive in. Let's go with Brian. Brian, good morning. What can you improve in your resale business?
Good morning. So I guess the big point I'm trying to do is to be more disciplined and more, and you were just on a schedule. And you asked me that last week. Now that I'm full time, like, what's my schedule going to look like? And so I kind of worked that out very, very detailed from 5 a.m. till 6 p.m. And the whole thing is it's for me to become more efficient, to have a time for the research. Like, I have 30 minutes built in to research different inventory, and that's really beneficial. What was it, Monday? There was a thrift store chain here in my area that had a 50%. And when I got there, the line was wrapped around the building with social distancing, of course. And so the time that I'd put in over the course of time researching shoes really paid off. So I got my car, the 50th person in, went to the men's shoes, and I didn't have to look anything up. I was just able to, to pull things off the shelf. And, when I got home, I look up those comps. just take to research ahead of time, is going to save you where you don't have to look things up if you're in a thrift store in those situations where it's crowded or time is important. And then just kind of the bigger picture is to have that schedule to follow daily. There's some flexibility there, but just to have a schedule that'll guide me, so I'm not wasting mental energy thinking about, well, what should I do now? We already have it kind of built in, and I can follow it and adjust it as I need to. So just to be more efficient and disciplined.
This is I'm gonna make a video on this. If you can do 15 listings a day in the morning when you wake up, you never need to work for someone again. That is like the most powerful thing ever, because that's what people really want. I think you can just do what you want to do. The thing is, you can't just do what you want to do. You have to do something you don't like, which is list 15 items. Then you can do whatever you want to do and spend the rest of the day looking for stuff. It is just, it's that schedule thing. And also what you mentioned, pre-researching a topic is so amazing. I remember garage selling with Prince, and we went to a flea market, and this guy had 10 GoPros for sale. He knew the market on all 10. It was amazing off the top of his head. He's like, I could buy this for this much, this for this much, this for this much, but I'm not going to waste any money or time with you because you're not going to be able to replace them. I only deal with dealers that I can buy again from. So when you start increasing how much your time is worth, that's how you get to that next level. If your time is worth $15 an hour, then you'll go thrifting. Once it starts worthing, if your time is worth $2,000 an hour, you could only call suppliers. You could never get in your car. You'd already lose money. You'd have to, that's important. Zahir in the chat is saying he made a mistake buying a huge amount of inventory because it was cheap. That's the mistake that I've gotten into so many times. I have so much inventory that I got for free, and it's taking my space up. It's taking mental real estate. Now I'm just essentially donating it. Even if I list it for $5 or $10 profit, it cost me $5 or $10 to list it. Now I'm just like in the same place, but with less stuff. Thank you, Brian. Let's go with Don. Don, good morning. How's the fires down there?
Good morning. I didn't notice too much yesterday. So,
Same here. Yep.
I know it's up in Napa, maybe it's blowing the other way.
Yep.
But yeah, the thing that, that I'm thinking can help my business a little bit more is I'm just really focusing on making my space so that I can bring somebody else in, and everything's perfect, and just like an office that's managed. And I know I've been doing that for a while, but I have limited time, because I work full time and I have orders going out every day. But last night, I finally built this my box storage rack. I'm happy with the way it turned out. It's really heavy. I bought a shelf from Home Depot that I thought was going to work, and it didn't. So I just went and got some plywood and just knocked it out. Had them cut to pieces and built it. And I threw out a bunch of old boxes. So one thing I'm not going to be doing is storing boxes, empty boxes. Such a waste of volume and space. And now that I have everything neatly organized, I just feel like I can not have to waste my time storing things. And I'm just ultimately focusing on that right now, just because I want to bring somebody else in that's going to be more of a permanent person to do some of the things that I'm doing. And that's a game changer for me, so I can focus on some of these things that you're talking about, like researching products more, and where all my time is, I'm just just chasing a rabbit here, with the business is kicking butt, but it's I'm doing all the work.
One more thought on this that's blowing my mind is there's so many different ways to approach this. Kevin O'Leary says that you should never have more than 5% of your attention on one category, diversify, right? And then there's, you have the one thing with Gary Keller says, put all your eggs in one basket. So you've got one person saying, put all your eggs in one basket. The other person saying, put your eggs in 20 baskets. So maybe it's in the beginning, put your stuff in one basket till you get some momentum, then, maybe diversify over time. But I feel like my store is the quintessential garage sale store. I have everything, and I never have less than 30 sales a day. And I think it's because I'm in so many categories. Like And now that I'm starting to sell big stuff, Don, I'm starting to get how long it takes to ship big stuff. So I will be, hopefully we'll be playing show and tell with our spaces, because I'd love to be able to ship a VCR in 1 minute. I don't know how to do that, but that's how long it takes to ship a sweater.
Yeah, my phone just kind of volumed out here. My other one. Yeah, no, I'd like to share spaces. I want to make it so it's something to show. I like your idea of having, how you have your storage. I paid for a year for my storage unit. So after that, I might be looking for, I forgot the brand you're using, the company.
Safekeep.
Yeah. I'm gonna look into that. I'm using Extra Space.
Yep.
I paid for a year, but yeah, I would like to share that.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, well, I'll try to refer you. I'll let you, Aaron, the spaces that I have all have power. So I'll try to, there's one in San Leandro, I think, that, or somewhere around there, that has these awesome units with 20-foot ceilings. Those ones are super cool. I would love to get a storage unit with 20-foot ceilings, but yeah.
Yeah, I got to see if they have one down here in San Jose or Santa Clara area. I don't know if they do. There's other places, but they're just, some of them are really divey. I mean, I like the security of, that's really focused. I don't want to, some of these places you look and there's like tweakers that are living there.
Oh, I agree. In my videos recently, the alarm goes off like in every video, because everything is so sensitive. They're like just really into security.
Yeah, no, that's important. I mean, there's a place here that's a lot less expensive, but the lady said we don't have too many thefts. I'm like, I want zero thefts. I don't want too many thefts. And I could just see the guys living there that are working. They look like they live there. No thanks.
Also, maybe get on the waiting list now for one with power,
Yeah.
because it could take a while.
Okay.
Let's go with Bill. Bill, do you have any tips? For guys that are listening online, Bill runs a storage facility, or he's the manager. Do you have any tips are people running e-commerce stores out of their storage units? And any ideas? What do you think?
Well, it really is how you do it. And yes, I have a guy who lives probably about 10 miles away. And because we, as a courtesy, accept goods, so he'll have about maybe 5 or 6 items sent a week that we put in his storage unit. And of course, every time I deliver to a storage unit, it's been building up. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there, and he comes like once every 2 weeks, and he just goes through everything. And I had another guy come. He's going to rent, and he needs a plug put in his unit. So what we do is we'll put in the plug for free as long as he signs a rider saying he'll pay an extra $15 a month for 1 year. After 1 year, if he moves out, we won't charge him, any extra. So like if he rented 6 months and he moved out, I would charge him $15 times 6 for the 6 months that he didn't rent, just for having us put in a plug so he could have power. And my second question was, what are you using that power for? And he's like, oh, for printers. And I'm like, so if you're putting printers in, then obviously you're putting things in here that maybe you need inventory, and you need to use a computer and all that kind of stuff. And he wouldn't say, because he knows that we're really sensitive about that. I said, look, if you come in here and you move boxes around and you work and then you leave, as long as you're not hanging out here, as long as you're not bringing your friends in here to eat or drink coffee or whatever, you're just into it, doing what you need, and you're busy, we normally don't want to bother that person. They're paying their rent on time, they're taking care of their business, and they're leaving. That's pretty much it. But in terms of security, Don's right. I mean, if you walk into a place and obviously the person is living there, we frown on that. And I normally walk up to the person and say, hey, look, you come in, you get what you need, and then you leave. You don't hang out here. It's getting to the point now with the bathroom, you have to come and ask for the key. Whereas before with me, it was wide open, but now no more, because we're getting a lot of people who want to kind of hang out, and the thieves are up. They're out and about running around. You really got to have like a German lock. Don't buy the lock made in China that they sell in the front store, that's for sure. But you want to have a good German lock. I think Asus is one.
That's a good tip.
Another one is they're now starting to sell the disc lock that has the combo lock on it.
Right.
You can still pick that lock, but what I noticed is it takes a lot of time.
Huh.
It really does. And since we put that lock out, I haven't seen anybody pick it, but I like it because it will take so much time. They will go for the easy one. Even the disc locks that you use a key with,
yeah,
those are the ones that they pick really fast, especially if you buy like Master Lock or whatever at Home Depot.
So the combo lock is more difficult to pick?
Well, the combo lock takes longer to pick.
Oh.
And it's shaped as a disc.
Right.
Don't get that cheapy one that you put on your school locker one. Don't do that. Nobody does that anymore. A hammer will get through that. So
wow, it's so amazing that you know all this, but you've probably broken or cut them off.
Oh, you have no idea. The other thing I was gonna say was you have to evaluate the manager that is showing you the cube and all that. Talk to them about security and their cameras. Normally we don't have cameras inside because that's usually the first thing that thieves steal. But on these newer, if you have like a newer building, they tend to keep those cameras pretty high. And sometimes they only keep it on the elevator because these storage places don't like to be liable if something's ripped off. It's like, hey, well, you had a camera there, so why don't you show me who ripped me off? They're not going to show you that because it makes them liable. So it will all be kept as internal stuff. You'll never see it. You'll call the police, you'll do your report, you'll expect the police will be out there looking for your stuff. They're not. Normally, if it's 3,000 or more, then they might show up interest. Or if the storage facility is hit like more than like 5 or 6 times and it's continuous, then they know the thieves are concentrating on that and they're going to be patrolling that area a little bit more. That's about
good to know. I have that combination lock because that way the workers can go ship. So I have the storage unit lock, the code to get in, and the lock to be the same code. It's easy to remember. And then you can set up surveillance too at mine if you need it.
Yeah, if you're able to put a camera in your unit, so when they break in, maybe they come in and you get a look at them, that might help as well.
Yeah, agreed. Bill, what can you do to improve your eBay business?
Well, I've got everything pretty much laid out, and my wife's been looking at me and she's like, hey, if you put that in a bucket and you take it upstairs where our desks are at, it's like, I'll do the photography on them. And I basically told her, well, if you do the photography, you have to do it our way, our eBay way. And she's like, what do you mean? I go, you got to use my phone. You got to put it in square. You got to, whiten the surrounding area. I don't want you to go into Photoshop and spend 15 minutes trying to make it look perfect. I just need it to be good enough. So you got to learn what good enough is. And I could just see her wrestling with that. And I'm like, well, we'll just do a trial run today and see how you do. And so I'm slowly incorporating her into it because she's starting to see, that I'm pretty serious about it. And she's seeing that I'm taking up all this time doing this. So she wants to be part of it. So that's kind of cool. So that's what I'll be doing. I'll be kind of helping her do the photography while I'm listing more just to get that down. That's about it.
All righty. Let's go with Daniel. Daniel, good morning. What are you working on?
Good morning. So I decided that I wanted to have a station, my smaller light box in my apartment rather than driving 30 minutes through Brooklyn, Queens, Long Island traffic. I get very, very frustrated. I get serious road rage and it just takes a lot out of me. So I don't want to be driving to my storage unit every day. It's just not going to work. So I have a light box set up. I'm gonna try to do the 15 every day. eBay would not remove the thing. I don't know. I'll try some of the other ones, but they already denied me and they refuse to get on the phone with me. It's just, even if I get on the phone with them, they just say they're emailing the claims department, and then I just get an email and they're shutting me down. So I guess I'm gonna have to sell 350 items, and I have a lot of CDs. Like, I have a lot of Grateful Dead CDs, about 75. So it's not just like selling normal CDs that people don't want. Yeah, and just trying to keep maintaining and getting back to basics, like I said. I'm gonna also list some clothing and some records that I have, and just try to do volume now, not just like $70 per item to $300 per item.
Okay. I like the idea of putting a small light box at home. That saves a lot of time, especially for smaller items. You can get them up right away.
Yeah, and I'll just have it set up here. I mean, I could ship FedEx right around the corner. There's one of those mail places, and UPS too, so I could just drop it. It's literally 2 blocks away.
Okay. Let's go with Josh. Josh, good morning. What are you doing to improve your business?
Hey, good morning, guys. So one thing I'm doing to improve my business is I'm looking into a different other sourcing opportunities.
Okay.
So because my replenishables are down and they run like a machine. So I can grow a little bit with that, but I'm afraid that I'm hitting a ceiling in that particular category. So I ordered a new product via Alibaba, and I also, geez, I don't know if this was good or bad. I joined the that Discord group yesterday, and my eyes were glued to the computer for
It's
like
insane.
8 hours.
It's so unproductive. It's interesting though, looking at that, because like there's like a million opportunities and you end up doing nothing because there's two, and it's hard to evaluate.
So it's really out of my comfort zone because I'm not a sneakerhead. I'm very ignorant on the topic. And nor I've sold hyped items before, like, but not often. So like yesterday I don't know, I spent a couple $100 on some of the non-sneaker products and stuff like that they share. I don't know if there's like thousands of Discord groups out there. This is just one of them. I'm sure there's ones that are a lot worse, and I'm sure there's ones that are a lot better. And I'm also looking into local government auctions. I found some good stuff there. I do not have a van, so that could be challenging. But I could rent a truck if the goods deal enough to justify itself.
Yeah.
So
I like that. I mean, yeah, rent a truck, don't buy one to start with.
yeah, I bought that Barbie, the
You tried one?
special one that gets released.
I saw that.
I'm sorry.
No, I saw that. I saw that limited edition Barbie that popped up. That this stuff
Okay.
is so crazy. I don't know how do you. I mean, we'll talk about it later, but it's. I just don't know how to manage. If someone gives you a list of 100 things to buy, how do you manage that? And then
So
the
the
next day
thing
is
about
100 more.
this,
Go ahead.
there, it's one of those where like everyone speeds, not everyone gets caught. I really
Right.
don't want to do anything against eBay standards. I really don't want to list pre-ordered stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a guy who sold like I'm looking at it. He makes like 27 bucks a pop, and he sold like 111 of them. And I'm jealous, but I really want to act with integrity, because if I lose eBay, I lose my major source of income. So I'm scared. I hope I could just sell it for a profit when it gets to my house.
Don't sell Vero stuff, because losing your account's really hard to recover from. It's not worth it. Also, when you sell higher end stuff, so like Retro Kev in the chat is saying that he likes to sell ultra rare, super in demand items. I'm totally for that. But eBay doesn't like that, because if you're selling a large volume of really rare stuff, they'll auto ban you, because you're like my friend Prince. He just got banned on eBay again for selling too many of one thing. Like they don't like that. The manufacturer doesn't like that, and it's just like you could just sell regular items and stay under the radar. But if you get too many Vero infringements, then you'll just lose your account. It's not worth it, because you're gonna make, everyone in this group is gonna make hundreds of thousands of dollars on eBay over your career. So is it worth a few even a few $1,000s? Not worth it. Like, it's not worth
Right.
it to sell one questionable item.
I agree. So I have to tread lightly. Sneakers, it's like getting a degree. It's like so much work to learn about trends and all the bots and monitors. I don't know anything about that. And it seems like it's tens of thousands of hours of just learning and studying. I'm intimidated, I'm overwhelmed, and I hope I never do it.
So I just want to clarify for people in the chat are asking why Prince got banned. Essentially, once you get to $100,000 a month in any brand, you just get banned. This is the second time it's happened to him. So it's hard to get, even if you're a verified supplier, they just have auto things in their system that get people banned. I probably get an email once a month from an electronics seller that does $5,000 a day that got banned, and with perfect feedback, and then the worst thing is when you get banned, you can't issue people a refund on PayPal, because everything is blocked. So you end up getting all those defects. But now with managed payments, I assume it's probably better for electronic sellers, because they can refund from their pending. It is interesting. Let's go with Amber. Amber, good morning. What can you improve?
Good morning. Well, I started trying the Otter app that we talked about last week, and it does understand me. I can't believe it. Everything that I say, it translates perfectly. My issue with it is, like, I want it's writing out the numbers. So like I'm thinking I would talk my measurements, and I would be able to cut and paste it, into my thing and list perfectly, but it doesn't put the number like 28. It writes it out 28.
Right.
So then I'm just gonna have to go in and delete it and put the 28. So it's not really. So I'm trying. I don't know that it's really going to save me any time, but I'm going to play with it a little bit more and maybe email the app people and just see if there's a setting or if it can, I don't know. But the fact that it understood me, and then Kendall started talking and it translated her as well, and recognized that we were two different people and we sound a whole lot alike. So it really understands us. Like, Apple needs to hire these people because Siri's crazy. She's never understood one word I said.
Yeah, there's got to be. Oh, so Ed is saying say 28 instead of 28.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that makes sense because because when you do an address, for me it does the same thing. If I say 1428, it'll enter in, but if I say 1428, it'll write it out.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Also, people in the chat are talking about things that they bought and then they resold for a certain amount. That's kind of pointless. I just want to talk about stuff that you're improving. Like I sold a $20 bill for $26 shipped and I lost $1. So I can teach you guys how to turn 20 into 19 real quick. But anyway, that's just not relevant. So let's focus on like things that you're doing that people can use. Let's go with Sean. Sean, good morning. What can you improve?
Good morning. Right now, I'm still just really working hard on the spreadsheet. That's going to be a huge improvement long term for the business to start tracking things. I'm getting really close on that. Just putting in extra hours, trying not to go crazy spreadsheeting too much. That isn't what I wanted the business to be, but once I got it caught up, it'll be a smaller amount to manage longer term. And as I'm going through this, I'm fixing some of the listings. So I'm seeing all the problems that we have with our photography. And as we add better and better clothing, for example, we really need to consider how we're going to improve the photography, whether it's getting the light box you recommend. We also don't even have square photos. They're kind of random. And could use a better phone for photography. There's also problems with the listings where we don't even, I've mentioned this before, but we don't know the difference of every dress or every cut of like the neck or how to list fabric types. And I know you can still sell things without all those details, but it would be good if we just leveled up. Like even if it's still not perfect, just level it up. And the white on the white background is looking particularly bad. And I don't know if it's just because that stuff didn't sell because it looks so bad, but I'm just noticing it as I'm going through all these hundreds of items. But I'm editing one right now and it really blends in. Whatever it does to the lighting, it ends up being very dark. And, we're going to have to figure out, improvements. And so I'm not ready to do that yet, though. The next thing is going to be training my wife on how to use the spreadsheet. Those are the process kind of improvements. That's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
awesome.
Beyond that, it's really going to be about sourcing. So I'll have to find time the day to focus on that. Right now, I don't really know what I'm doing with trying to OA. So it's kind of the best thing that you're teaching to me right now, because that would have the hugest difference in our business, really. Long term, these process improvements, the 1% bits that we do will definitely add up. But the biggest jump would be like just getting better products, So I'm going through again, seeing a lot of stuff that's still sitting there that we never should have bought. Like you were talking today about getting free or cheap inventory and it not being worth the time to list it. We have probably hundreds of items like that. And so at some point, probably when I'm done with this sheet, that's another thing I'll look at is like liquidate, 25% off, then 50% off, then just pull the items and just clean up the store a bit, get those 200-300 of the worst items out. And then we should probably even clean further, but at least that would be a start. So that's going to be a project. So basically I'm seeing lots of projects that need to be done, so probably too many problems to list, but definitely have things to work on.
Well, I want to talk about habits because at home we had the habit of donate one item a day. So my wife and I would go through the house and now we don't have anything that we don't use every day. I mean, it's really clean now. So the same thing with resale, fill up a couple of Goodwill bags a day of stuff every day. And then after a month or two, you won't have any stuff that is unlisted. And then the way I do it is literally get a bunch of stuff, take it over to a pile, donate it or list it. That's it. Just get used to that. When you pick it up, you deal with it. There's no moving it. There's people who move it to a different room. Stop doing that. That's like an issue.
That's a good suggestion. We've definitely become less precious about things compared to like when we first started. So I think we are in a position mentally that we could start handling that. We actually are somewhat doing that already. Like, we order a box of stuff. If some stuff's broken, we put it in a pile, and then it just goes to my wife's parents because they ship things off to Venezuela where they kind of need clothing and don't mind if there's a hole in something, So we kind of are getting a process like that. We could definitely level that up as well because, our garage is a disaster. You can't even move out there. And we need to we've got stuff where my wife used to paint furniture and then it's just sat there. And then we've like old doggy things that take up tons of space. I can't start selling garage sale stuff efficiently until we get rid of half the stuff in the garage, whether that's selling the best items and then just getting rid of the rest. But that's another project. So again, it's just like endless projects, but you're right. Just a couple items a day or putting them into a box that we have a process to get rid of every week. That would be good to implement because then you just reducing. And then when you do that project, it's easier and it's actually manageable and we have this tendency where we'll do a project like that, clean something up, and then just like you said, the habits would just go right back and now everything's a disaster again a few months later. So we'll have to work on that.
I relate this to the yo-yo diet. I'm talking to this gentleman that keeps trying these crazy diets where you restrict your calories by like 3,000 calories. And I look at this the same as people who say, screw it. And they call a junk removal service and they come and remove everything from their house. And then 3 months later, they're in the same situation. You just need to get the habit of listing more than you buy. If you can buy every single day, as long as you list more than you buy, you'll be fine.
That's what. So we've done that in clothing, but early buys are literally still sitting in the garage. But we decided to focus on clothing. We tried to get a system, because you can bag it, you can put it in the same size box, you can just regiment the whole thing. You got the same poly bag when you mail it, like that. I like that about trying to find a system. But at some point, I got to clean up the garage and then be able to process random items that we buy from garage sales and stuff. So we're not there with that yet. So I don't feel like it's a killer to us that we haven't figured that out yet, because at least with the new stuff we're getting with clothing, it is all getting listed, so we know we're capable of doing it. We just got to apply it everywhere.
Yep. I love it. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Let's go with Davidet. Welcome. Good afternoon in the UK. How's it going?
It's good. It's good. Well, I mean, always grey in London, but it's nothing new. No, it's good. My focus now, it's going a bit more on the traditional sort of business route. I'm having my first meeting with an authorized sort of wholesaler of specific, say, emerging brands in the camera world tomorrow. Although my focus is on the used camera gear, there are, especially on the accessory side and parts, I think that there are opportunities to find those replenishables, because again, selling used camera gear, it's quite difficult there's a lot of variance, right? Sometimes I find a lot of stuff, sometimes I don't. It's difficult to build the replenishables. And so I'm looking at, tripods, gimbals, parts, case, things of that kind that I will buy new from an authorized dealer, and hopefully to make a margin on that. So see how that goes.
Awesome. You sent me an email. Let me look at it real quick about, let's see. Yeah. Okay. So today I'm actually going to talk to a founder of one of these Bolo groups and talk to him about either making one for us or letting us into his group for free. Cause from my understanding, Bolo groups work really well when they're small. Once they start getting too big, it doesn't work. So he has multiple Bolo groups that he runs. And I think that might be the way to do it, because if you have one that's too big, then it's too hard to read the information coming in. I actually don't think that you would run out of deals. I don't believe in the market saturation if everyone is submitting deals constantly, you'll never run out of deals. It's just it's impossible to read. Either there, and there's a balance, because you just mentioned a group that doesn't have a lot of activity yet. So there's that balance.
But I guess it would, I'm still getting grip. And again, on this side of the pond is probably less developed. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if it's worth obviously trying to create groups that are more targeted towards specific type of items, mm-hmm. rather than being a generalist. The thing I still, obviously for me, it really pays off to be in one category and maybe expanding little by little rather than be a generalist. It will probably throw my customers a little bit off if I start listing gloves or other things that just for profit, like that would sort of undermine my sales proposition. I mean, nothing stops me from creating a second store to do that, but I'm sure that there are opportunities in targeting searches. It also make the job a lot easier, and it will be easier also to decide if invest a lot or not, because people are already aware of a certain market. No need to research. If you need to drop 10,000, you do it immediately.
I agree with that. Let's go with Ash. Ash, good morning. What are you doing to improve your business?
Inventory is I keep on the inventory. I order more stuff, and like I'm kind of getting there, like to have the same inventory that I'm selling, because I always list more than the one that I have.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm getting there.
So what can you do to improve your inventory flow?
I feel like I will need like to schedule like every month, even if I don't sell the product, just buy more, because I know eventually it sell out. Like for no reason, you could say like sometimes it doesn't sell, sometimes it sells, like you don't even know. So sometimes I sell 20 and the next day I sell 2. But then past another day I sell 30 and then I'm like, shit, now I don't have inventory. So I wanted to always have more than the amount I'm selling per month.
So this is really hard for me, but I'd like to have a 2-week to 1 month supply. I don't know. I mean, that's like easier said than done, but that would be like a perfect amount of not spending so much money that you have to wait. But yeah,
that's true. I try. That's why I don't invest a lot, because I don't want to just keep the inventory. I think I'm too wary about what if it doesn't sell. But yeah, I don't know, if it doesn't sell, I could just drop the price a little bit and it will keep selling, because it's a good market.
That is such an interesting topic. Like, if you could buy things that you never worry about selling, but you would have a really small inventory, right? So it's like, how much risk are you willing to take? Like electronics, camera equipment as an example, or useful items like you're selling, Ash, around the house, even like soap, it's going to sell. It's just, how do you balance? I sold 2 clean. My Dollar Tree store is awesome. I sold two Dollar Tree items to Japan yesterday. So this person paid $17.99 twice, because I have free shipping. So there's no, I didn't have a combined shipping. So they paid $17.99 twice for $2 items, and then $35 to ship it to Japan. They paid $75 for $2 worth of stuff. And it just blowing my mind how this stuff, and he's like, I can never find it here.
I need to source like going to the Dollar Tree and stuff like that. I also go to Walmart, to the clearance section, to buy stuff and resell. But I'm leaving tomorrow, so like I cannot keep buying stuff and then like I'm not gonna be here. So
everyone in the chat should be inspired by Ash, because she basically started this business on her cell phone, and there's really no excuses. Get started. She's in, she was in Puerto Rico. Now she's in Connecticut, right? But she's going back.
Going back tomorrow.
Awesome. Inspiration. She usually does these calls from the beach, so we're excited about that.
Yes.
So I wish we have Dollar Tree in PR, but we don't have. So I will keep selling only my replenishables.
Okay.
Maybe I could. There's a store that is like, it's like a dollar store in PR, but it's not really, like, it's really cheap. You can see the stuff in, like, it's not like Dollar Tree that some stuff are good and other are like cheap. But I will start, when I get back there, I will start improving my Etsy shop.
So also letting people know, I'm currently using Global Shipping Program, GSP, because I'm having issues with international shipping. Like, for example, I had I think it was Lithuania and Argentina or something, both of those parcels ended up getting returned. They just did not get through customs. So it's kind of an issue right now. But I feel like shipping direct is always the best option if you can do it. But right now, there's certain postal services that are not good. I think Italy is also bad. But I mean, it depends. And if you use the global shipping program, it does cost the final customer more money, but then it's out of your responsibility. Let's go with Matt. Matt, hopefully you can step out for a moment. Let us know what you're trying to improve.
I have an interview with a potential employee today.
Did you find him at the brewery?
No, I did not. I had a ad on Facebook for a while, and somebody, I think she's like in her 60s, maybe 50s. I don't know if it'll work out or not. I'm kind of apprehensive about hiring somebody with a decade of experience. You know what I mean? But hopefully it'll work out. Hopefully the person will be able to adapt to the way I do things. We'll see.
So how do you, are you going to put them through a series of tests? How do you determine if this person is a viable candidate?
They'll just come by and I'll observe. That's my process right now.
You want her to list?
Yes, lister. Yeah,
Okay.
I have 2 positions open right now, manager and lister. And I don't think she's a good fit for manager at all. But lister, hey, if you can list 200 to 400 pairs of jeans a week, that'll take a lot off of my plate, you know?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, you met my manager and lister in South Carolina on that store, and they are awesome.
Yeah, they're great. They're
So
great.
that's like I don't know what the difference is for meeting people that are like really help you, but it's like I guess the main thing is trust, and if they're people focused, because they like to do things that are better for the customer, and that's like I just bought them tacos. I'm like, this is stuff you can't even pay for. People that care about your business is, I don't know how you
Yeah,
teach that.
I agree. I agree.
Let's go with Ed. Ed, can you chat?
Yeah.
What can you improve in your business?
I've been working this week on hiring a VA. My first go around was pretty bad. I had to let her go because she was not honest. I guess you live and learn. The next couple I hired for my drop shipping business, they're good, but they were already like seasoned pros that I hired part-time. This one's just going to be just for me. It's kind of slow. You know, I usually hire people by kind of a long conversational process, like back and forth through WhatsApp and stuff like that. So we'll see how it goes. I have an idea for Matt though.
Yeah.
It just always seemed to me like in any metro area, there's a lot of moms out there who have probably really well-developed job skills who want a lot of flexibility. Seems like a great labor pool to me.
That's 100% true. Reselling is like 75% women, I feel like, in general. It's the only part-time job you can do whenever you want. For the most part, like you can make great money whenever you want. That's not very common for jobs typically.
Did you say metro?
Oops, sorry. Yeah. Well, there's got to be moms somewhere on you. Oh, well.
I'm about as rural as it gets. I literally live on a farm out here, so. Yeah.
Oh, man. Don't know. Good luck.
Yeah, most of the people I meet out here, it's like they have experience, but it's working at a chicken plant. You know what I mean? It's not really any experience at all. Or McDonald's or something. Like, congratulations, you wasted 8 years of your life at that place. That's a lot of valuable experience that you have there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's brutal. But yeah, I guess another thing that I would recommend potentially, Matt, is a US VA. You know, that's something that's potentially worth it, because that's what the 2 people that you met that are with me, they're in the US, right? Totally different type of worker. much more expensive, but more reliable, and they can actually touch the goods. So maybe someone that, I mean, ultimately for you, I think someone needs to go to your site because you want to list 80 items a day, right? Or 100.
Yeah, and all the shipping is done here, you know.
Yeah.
It could be done somewhat remotely, you know. I could drop a bunch of jeans off at someone's house along with my inventory system and, you know, just pick them back up later with the custom SKU attached. But yeah, mostly it's going to be here. Photography has to be done here for sure, and shipping has to be done right here. So
yeah. All right, let's go. Colby, can you chat?
Hey, Chris.
What's up? What are you working on?
Well, after our conversation yesterday, I almost made a massive mistake. I couldn't add more spider gloves to my Amazon account getting ready to buy them because, again, I've sold those, and I sell, you know, anything hiking, ski related. And again, spiders, you know, it's definitely a high-end brand. It's, you know, it's the cool Piranha, North Face, you know, higher end kind of stuff. And I thought, you know, something's just not right. You know, I started looking at it, and I started watching tons of videos on Amazon, and they're fake. They're all fakes.
They are?
And yeah, 100%. And so what happened is
Whoa.
I jumped on AliExpress, or Alibaba actually, and I was chatting with a guy, and basically they'll create them for me, but they can't put the binding packaging together. So you can't, you know, if you go on eBay and look under Spider, all the brand new ones, they're packaged, right? They have like a plastic, you know, binder between the two, and it's high end, and it's got all the information, everything. And you look at the videos on Amazon, and literally there was a guy that ran the glove underwater under the faucet, and it just drenched, and the label peeled off and everything. So no joke, because I was like, I had probably $1,000 worth of gloves in my cart, and I'm like, this is great. So I guess my lesson is, you know, don't pull the trigger. You know, don't pull the trigger until you really, you know, I hate to say if it's too good to be true, you know, statement, but that's one of those situations where I think when you start getting involved in some of these groups, you know, it does matter if you're in your own niche, and you understand your niche really, really well. Because if not, I really, I mean, this is the first one, right? I mean, we just picked a random one out of the thing. All of a sudden, I'm like, you know, probably tons of people fell for it. But if you're flipping, obviously, those accounts are going to get banned. If you flip them back on eBay, you're going to get horrible reviews, you know, things like that. So I guess my improvement is I'm really interested in this. I jumped on a couple Discords last night. The same thing though. I wasted 2 hours of my night.
Yeah. And
I ended up not even doing stuff for eBay. Like the first hour was all eBay, and the second I was looking at cars, and I mean, it just takes you down these rabbit holes. But there's a lot of cool stuff there. But I think you really have to get, I don't know. I always felt like you really have to get in your niche. I can't remember who was talking about the, you know, sneakerheads. Like if you're a sneakerhead, geez, it seems like those are great. So I think you're just gonna have to find a Discord group that, you know, definitely is broad enough that everybody could, you know, could capitalize on it, or stick to really name brand stuff that, you know, doesn't have knockoffs. You know,
that's so valuable. Thank you for sharing that, because I think that people who are in Discords become really selective. It teaches you that right away, because you start to realize, holy crap, there's way too many things to look at. And then you're right, because all the deals that I've purchased so far have been Best Buy or Wayfair. I haven't bought anything on Amazon or eBay to reflip. It didn't even occur to me that they could be fake.
Mine either. And literally the guy ran it underwater, and the water went completely. I mean, like I said, you know, Spider is a high-end brand. They really
absolutely
are. And he peeled the label off. Like the label just peeled off, you know? So it's like, yeah. So I agree with you. It's like, I think if you found deals that were right, a Best Buy deal on X electronics, like you're just not going to get fakes on those, or even clothing. I feel if, you know, if it's North Face and you're looking at the tag, you know, they have all 3 tags, and, you know, things like that are going to be a little harder to, you know, to copy. I mean, there's still fakes out there a lot. We get a lot of fake North Face stuff, but It's not too often, and you'll never really find them from bigger suppliers that are fake.
That's, you know, it can actually still be fake too, even from a big supplier. They'll
Yeah.
mix it in.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Crazy. Like the Paul Mitchell guy that sold Patron was saying how you can only buy Paul Mitchell from Paul Mitchell at a salon. And if you find it on eBay or Amazon, it's mostly fake. And it's scary that, and also I have seen, when I was heavy into the sneaker game, I have gotten B grades before from Foot Locker. I mean, these are shoes that would definitely not have passed. This is like factory seconds that are being sold through Foot Locker. So it definitely can happen. It's that this is one of the reasons why they're so quick to ban third-party sellers that do too much volume. It's not normal. Thank you, Colby. Let's see. Frank, can you chat?
Yeah, what's going on?
What's up? How's everything going?
Good, good. You guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Um,
So how do you feel about consignment? Like the first box that I sent you, would you want, I sent Frank a box that was like a little over $1,000. Is that stuff that you would like to list in the future? What kind of stuff do you like getting?
Absolutely. I love that kind of stuff. You know, between, honestly, if it's $20 and it sells fast, I'm okay with that. You know, and if it's $100, like, you know, we sold a bunch of stuff already. That's the perfect stuff that I feel comfortable listing. I really like sorting through things, whether they sell on Amazon or eBay, because I feel like not a lot of people take the effort and the time to see, does this have a listing on Amazon because it doesn't have a UPC, and you can still look it up, figure out if it's complete. And you can go through all that effort. But if you do, you can maybe potentially get, you know, 1.5 to 2 times the amount of value. Plus, you don't have to store it, ship it, or anything like that. So I feel like people don't utilize enough the used aspect of Amazon. You know.
Because I was thinking, Frank, if that box works out for you, and I posted a, like if I did some marketing for you, I feel like it would be insane. Because for me, after working with, if Frank can sell boxes of stuff like that for me, I could theoretically close my store here. I could send all my hard goods to Frank and all my clothing to my other location and have no store here. I could just do 100% shopping, which is really the main benefit of living in a rich area or a metro area is unlimited supply. I should, you know, it's like, you know, if Frank was in Oklahoma, that would be even better. In the middle.
No,
That's the only
the only thing is though that I can see potentially that's an issue is like you got to trust me, because when I got a couple of the things, one was broke.
Yep.
You having to send you photos back and forth. They're like, I know it's worth like 30, 40 bucks, but actually one of the switches is broken. So we tested it. I had to sell it for parts, you know, so these things, you know, there has to be a level of trust where, and then another, I know why a couple of your toys got returned from Amazon, because they're actually not in English, it was French. So when I pressed the Woody figure, he started speaking in French. So it was pretty funny. And I'm like, oh, that's why it was returned. So we went to list it. It actually went through me. And then my Amazon lister was like, hey, I don't know if you noticed, but Woody's talking in French. I'm like, oh crap. So, you know, these types of things, you know, you have to trust me on that, you know, like, hey, this isn't worth anything. Even though you may have paid money and stuff, you know, so that's the only issue I see.
Yeah, because I bought a Amazon returns. Some of those are Amazon returns, and I sold a bunch of the ones that had multi-quantity. I sold in my store locally, and some of them, the manufacturer reached out. They're like, "This is not allowed on eBay," or you know, it's like there's restrictions for so many different things on Amazon. eBay not so much, but there's a shoe brand called Aetrex, Aetrex. I have one pair of used shoes for sale for $25. I've received 10 letters of cease and desist. Please remove this used pair of shoes. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to remove this $25 pair of used shoes. But it must just be a blanket thing trying to prevent, you know, it's crazy.
And on the sourcing front, I feel like the best place to look is your sales history. You can go on Amazon and look at every single item that you've sold last year. You can go on eBay and look at every single item you sold last year and start there. You know, I feel like if you don't have enough bandwidth and you get overwhelmed with the stuff you currently have, why are you going to look for more stuff? Try and, you know, optimize and you'd be surprised at how many items you can find. Like just yesterday, I was looking through previous items that I've sold, and I'm like, wow, you know, I can make double my money on Amazon with this item that I've already sold before. Why am I not optimizing this and setting an alert up for this and buying this every time it comes up and add that instead of trying to look for new stuff every day, you know? And so I'm really in the process of trying to capitalize on my already existing, like I have like 30,000 items and I'm right above the IPI score where I need to be because I do one-offs on Amazon. And I'm trying to like, okay, you know what would it look like if I try to keep all these in stock, you know? So.
All right. Brooks, can you chat? You might be on the road. No, Brooks, let's go with Jeannie. Jeannie, good morning. Can you chat?
Good morning.
What's up?
Oh, not much. Oh, what I want to improve on. Let's see. I need to redo my schedule. I need to free up a little bit more time for research. I'm not spending enough time. I'm only doing like an hour, like maybe 2-3 days a week. And then what else do I need to improve? Oh, my store. I was doing one to two items a day, like going through and revising and getting rid of the old stuff, but that's taking too long. So I think I'm going to up that to maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 a day until I can get it cleaned out.
So how are you going to approach that? A little each day?
Yeah, I think a little each day. Just try to add maybe an extra one every day.
Okay.
I'll see. Yeah, I'm not real sure. And then I'll figure out how to squeeze out sometime. Yeah, I'm not doing enough research. I'm falling behind on that. So I've been so busy with the pellets that I got that I kind of let that go to the wayside, and that's not been good.
Yeah. Your schedule is pretty full already.
I know.
You have too much.
I don't know where I'm going to squeeze. I'm not sure.
You have to get rid of something. Don't get rid of the kids, the grandkids, though.
No, that's still every Tuesday and Thursday, like clockwork, and then sometimes on the weekends. Yeah, I'm not really sure how I'm going to squeeze that out. But
So it's funny, Jeannie. I was listening to the gentleman that was making $1 million a month. They were talking about his work-life balance, and he was saying that he hated Saturdays because Saturday was the day he spent with his family, and on that day, he kept thinking about work. And he's like, I was not present with my family and it sucks. So I changed to hanging out with my family every day instead of 6 days of work, 1 day with my family. That did not work for him because he couldn't turn it off. So he switched to a little bit of family every day and then fixed that. So I don't know how you would arrange that with your situation, but it just made me think that sometimes you get so wound up, you can't unwind.
Yeah, my grandkids are 45 minutes away. I drive 2 hours, 45 minutes every Tuesday and Thursday to go see them. Then sometimes she comes out here like on a half day, she'll come out. They were out here last Sunday. And I don't really watch TV. So yeah, I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that. Something's got to give though a little bit. I think maybe relying more on the VA. I'm still a little skeptical. I'm still having a few issues there. If I could rely more heavily on the VA, that would free up a lot of time.
Yeah, the VA thing is such a challenge, but it's the way that I've decided I want to try and scale too. So I guess it's just going to be a learning process for both of us.
Yeah, I have a lady that I have a little guest house on my property. She's actually said that she might be interested in something, helping. So I might actually reach out to her and see. I just don't know if that's a good idea to attempt that. She's literally on the property. So if it doesn't work out, I don't know if I want hurt feelings.
There's no hurt feelings in business.
That's what I'm hoping. So.
All right. Well, everyone have an awesome day. Thank you everybody for coming online. We do this every Wednesday on YouTube, and then the rest of the days are private. So everyone